Welcome to Session 2, Living Wealthy Relationships, A New Day. This is Session number 2, The Occurring World of Living Wealthy. Before we get started, we do have a bit of spoken word to give us a framework, get the juices flowing for this evening. So please enjoy. All right, Pumpkin from Pluto, and the name of that selection is Money. Tonight's workshop, again, I am Ronnie B. with the Old Grumpy Radio Network. I am here with the Prosperous Divas for session number 2 of Living Wealthy, and tonight's session, The Occurring World of Living Wealthy, Partnership Keys to Success, the Conversation Matrix. Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster. Over to one of my favorite divas, Diva Nikki.
What? It's over to me? All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for session number 2 of Living Wealthy, Relationships, A New Day. I am Diva Nikki, and I am leading this course with Diva Nikia and Ronnie B. Hey, Ronnie.
Smoochies.
So this 6-session seminar is specifically designed for each participant to have a measurable and quantifiable breakthrough in self-expression in areas that are at the heart of experiencing and living an occurring world of wealthy living. Living wealthy is for having the prosperous life you desire, the passion you dream of, the spirit of goodwill, and the love in all your interactions with others. Being free to express yourself, giving yourself fully to all of life. Our inquiries and exercises provide hands-on tools that can be applied immediately in producing results that exceed expectations. If you're participating with us for the first time, you are in the perfect place. You will get value from your participation that will exceed expectations. And for those who have participated in previous courses with us, thank you. We are humble, and we continue to provide you with value. Now, before we start, we want to thank everyone as we do the work to move beyond the effects of Hurricane Harvey while making a difference for people everywhere. And with that being said, for myself, being here in Houston and being around the surrounding areas and everything that's going on, I can tell you that Houston has never seen anything like this before, but I am sure that we will bounce back better and stronger. And we will do it with the help of others and help with each other and of each other. So, Ronnie B, anything for you?
One, I really, really appreciate all the love and concern from people in my family, outside of my family, listeners, the divas we was checking in on. You know, they was checking, you okay there? You okay there? Your family okay? You know, and you know, which was a definite beautiful thing. And I just want to say, don't let a hurricane have to happen before you can be yourself and live your dreams. Don't let an act of nature have to happen before you'll look at what's possible for where, you know, with where you are right now, today. Not someday, one day, when things get better, right now. And we bless everyone who it has just been tragic. I just got, you know, there's a point where you can get like numb, where you start numbing yourself because it's just so much. And I know Diva Nikki, being in the military, who served us proudly, could, you know, speak to that in ways that, you know, that I could not. Where you literally, because you got a job to do, you know, and you know, in the military you can kind of see it, but the job of being there for your loved one when you're trying to just make sure you got a couple of cans of beans so y'all can eat, you know, that can be a challenge in that moment. In that moment, you know, not a tragedy, but a challenge. So, you know, we pray for everyone, you know, in our city, and we stand that the difference that we're working to make is a difference that, in the face of catastrophe, prosperity still lives. That with what you have and what you don't have, you have all you need to create a world of prosperity. And it may be one step at a time, or it may be big leaps. Prosperity hasn't left you. If anything, it's more available than it ever was before. Okay, back to you. Did we get to technology working with Diva Nakia?
Diva Nakia.
Okay, all right. Not yet. Back to you, Diva Nikki.
Okay, well, we're going to start our first inquiry, the current world of having the current world. of just that, of having. So, what do you hear when we say having? What do you hear when we say a current world of having? Take a moment, get present. What is there for you? What do you hear? The current world is the combination of conversations we have about the physical or real world, giving us our experience of life or how we are living life. Now, what do we hear when we say having? When we say the current world of having, now what do you hear? Take a moment, get present. What is there for you? What do you hear? And we're going to team share on this one, of course. Now, for myself, what I hear, you know, is what I'm present to immediately, Ronnie B, is being grateful for everything that I have right now and what I am meant to be possible, being in that moment. That if I can see myself doing it, if I can see it happening, I can already be in that moment and already live in that moment. I already have it. And that's in love. That's in relationships. That's in my finances. That's in my business. I feel like it's my world. It doesn't have to be happening to anybody else. No one else has to believe it. No one else has to feel it. No one else has to wonder about it or imagine it. It's about me and my occurring world. And so if it's happening for me right now, if I feel it, like, you know what? This decision right here, this is what this is going to bring. Oh, this is here because of what was there, and it's here now. These are the seeds that I have. And from these seeds, with some water, this is what's going to happen. So if I see it already happening from the water, guess what? It's already here. That's what I'm present to. That's my current world. Ronnie B, you have what's going on over there with them? I hear some thoughts. Ronnie B, did I lose you? Hello? Are we having technology issues? Okay, well, I don't hear.
All right, Diva Nikki. All right, my technology is back. I was so inspired and enrolled with what you were saying. I'm going to have to listen to the recording. But I'd love if you completed did you get to complete what you were sharing?
I did get to complete what I was sharing, and I was asking what was being present for you.
Thank you. Well, at time, good. I'm going to share what was present for me. I was just so getting present to you being in touch with having, not thinking about what you should have, having, and acknowledging powerfully that at this point in time, you have what you have.
Yeah.
And as opposed to making aspects of that wrong, having all of it be empowered. Oh, well, this area, throw a little more fertilizer on it, give it a little more water. And I'm further than I was in this area than I was before. This is what I have now. Maybe I got a problem, but I didn't have this kind of problem before. It's a different kind of. It ain't them problems I had in the past. This is a problem consistent with me moving on. See, some people think when they get there that they won't have any problems. No, you will have many problems. They just ain't gonna be the old problems.
That's right.
Yeah, you'll have problems consistent with wealth. Oh, well, see, you didn't have wealth before, so you didn't have wealth problems. Now you have wealth. Guess what? You're going to have wealth problems.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You can't get around it. That's the way the world, that's, quote, reality. Now, okay. The other thing I got present to was in the, it's just being the world of having is that, what you can't have. Yeah, I got present to that. There's what you can't have, and that whether I'm generating that conversation or not, it's gonna get presented to me.
Right.
And that's how it is going to get presented to me. And how I choose to respond could make the difference.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because the thing is, I have to, and what it has me also go is that honor the struggle, my struggle and theirs. Especially they honor their struggle. Yeah, okay, you don't get the occurring world of having. That's not a bad or wrong thing. You just don't get it.
Right.
That does not stop me from being able to work with someone, to create it. Now they may look up and go, Ron, that thing you said about the current world I have, and next thing you know, you're like, dude, where did you get that Maserati from? Well, some limitation disappeared. That's the unpredictability of possibility. You start having the freedom to throw stuff in, and it may just break through. Boom. Now, so that's what I got presented.
Gotcha. All right. Good stuff. So now, whatever you're present to from this inquiry, do not make anything bad or wrong or something that needs to be fixed. Simply allow it to be. See, the current world is the context or framework from which we experience our life. It empowers our experience of having or disempowers our experience of having. Remember, we are not speaking from the truth. Try it on as part of the inquiry and see what is available that makes a difference. Let's look at the definition of quote unquote having. To possess, own, hold for use, contain, to hold, possess, or accept in some relationship as of kindred or relative position. For example, he wanted to marry her. She wouldn't have him. To get, receive, or take. To have a part in a play. How about that? Oh, my goodness. Give me a second here. I'm experiencing something. Excuse me. I'm experiencing some technology issues.
Okay. Well, to have a part in a play, to have news. Now, the divas don't walk around with just definitions. And there is value in a definition. Believe me, if you want to work in the physical world, you need definitions, and you need distinctions. And distinctions, fortunately, are created. Right? Like they're not the truth of something; they're an acknowledgement of a reality. So the definition of having: to possess, own, hold for use, contain. Now that's valuable. That's a valuable definition. And because you can operate with that, to hold, possess, or accept in some relationship as of kindred or relative position. He wanted to marry her. She wouldn't have him. How many of you giggled? How many of you giggled on that one? What was that? What did that mean? All right, because we know you put something on there: to get, receive, or take, to have a part in the play, to have news. Think about that. To have news. Is news something that you can have? All right, okay. Now I'm going to take you to philosophy class. And Diva Nikki, did we get your technology back?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Did you want to share the deepest context for having?
Yes, I would love to share the deepest context for having. So, the deepest context for having is the manifestation of one's word in the physical and spiritual worlds. Ironically, that's pretty much what I just said, right? Well, wow. So, your word, your conversation create the occurring world that manifests the life you experience and results produced in the physical world. Is anyone wondering why they are struggling in some areas that are important to them and doing great in others? The areas you are doing great are the areas you consistently have conversations that empower those areas. They are ingrained, automatic, a great habit. I can attest to that. Okay. The areas.
Just but before you continue, just want to say that we have really great habits. We do. We don't acknowledge them. We don't acknowledge them because they're just the things that we do. And if we own that they're habits, because habits are not something you're born with. Habits are something that you create and build muscle in. It's just like Nikki works out. Well, that's a habit now. She does not have to get up and think about working out. It's like she get up and, the body just takes her to the, it's like, okay, I wanted to get this, but the body is still moving toward whatever working out that she does every day. It's just automatic now. So that's like the water she swims in. And now it's a good thing. It's a good thing, right? It's a great habit. And many would love to have it.
That's right. So, once again, the areas that persist as problems or you struggle to produce the results you desire are areas knowingly or unknowingly you consistently create issues to disempower yourself from having what you desire. What? You mean it's my fault? Nobody said it was their fault. Nobody's saying anyone's their fault. We're just saying you have a greater responsibility. We have a greater responsibility. So here is the having exercise. Yes, we have a little exercise intended to empower you in generating the presence of having. Create the following categories: relationships, health, spiritual, wealth. Under each category, answer this question: what do I desire that I do not have, or is not at the level of fulfillment I see? Next to each item, write 3 conversations or actions you take that consistently keep the results you desire in that area from being fulfilled. Ooh. Once again, I want that fault. It's about responsibility. That's all.
Don't be scaring them with responsibility. That's even worse than fault. At least with fault, but we gotta remember from a different course. That's your thing.
For example, health, desire, being a lean, green fighting machine. Conversation: I am not going to spend all that money to join a health club. I will buy some equipment and work out at home. Problem: I never buy the equipment and start working out. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I get busy in the morning. Once I start working, it's too late to exercise. After work, I'm too tired. Weekends would be good, but then the kids and I just don't have time. The problem, I never have time. Something to think about. I know I should eat better. I don't have time to run around and get all that healthy stuff. I make sure I eat salad each day, but I don't ask me to give up my fried chicken. But don't ask me to give up my fried chicken. Problem, I never start eating healthy. For this session, pick one area to work on and continue the exercise later. Once you have written them down, get present to what you wrote and note if there are any persistent complaints or a listening about that area from the past. We're going to give you a couple of minutes to work on your list while we share what we see so far in the exercise and answer a few questions. Let's answer some questions. Answer some questions.
One thing I love how I really do love the example around health, because oftentimes one of our things that keeps us from like really seeing where a conversation can make a difference is complication. We want that'll be one of our things, and we'll be talking about that a little later on in tonight's session. It's a strategy. So as a strategy thing to prevent having to feel and be with an issue will create a problem. That's a strategy. So I love the example around health, because many people, it's not that they want to lose weight. Weight may not be their issue. They may just be out of shape. Mm-hmm. They've been a couch potato, and they're like, man, I really need to do something. I mowed the lawn, and I was huffing and puffing so bad I felt like I was 100 years old. So they want to, get back. And, hey, they have some conversations. And they are, and the conversations, you can look at them and say, from the outside, they'd be what you call excuses. From the outside, oh, man, these are just excuses. And you would be correct from the outside. But for the person, it's not an excuse, it's the truth. Mm-hmm. And they're getting value out of that. That's the sneaky thing. Yeah. That we had that conversation. We had that conversation about when things are persistent, then you're getting something out of the deal.
Right.
Yeah, because we certainly know that there's okay, I'm not going to spend all the money to join a health club. I'll buy some equipment and work out at home. Problem, I never buy the equipment and start working out. Okay, all right, now, so that's already saying that, you know what, the issue isn't the health club or the equipment. That ain't the issue. So, but that's what I want to make it seem as. See, that's the thing about a persistent complaint. It makes it want to seem like you're an innocent victim. So in this conversation, I'm the innocent victim of the high price of health clubs and not being able to get some equipment. Well, they got the internet. You can order you some equipment. You can join an online health club for what, $9.95 a month? I've seen the Beachbody commercials. So you can join you can buy the equipment. You can get the So there are ways to resolve it, but that's not what that person wants to do. Whenever you have conversations, that keep you from fulfilling your desire, you got to look at that desire. Is that something you want to? Is that something you really want to have? Because what you have, you actually have what you are demanding. But that is okay. So that's what I'm present to. Now there were a couple of questions you were saying, Diva Nikki, and did Diva Nikia's technology working?
Diva Nikia.
Okay, I guess it's up to me and you then. Rachel out of Omaha, Nebraska. Can't I get what you are teaching out of the Bible? Diva Nikki?
You know what? In many aspects, you surely can. There are certain scriptures that speak directly to prosperity. And I don't know the scripture location right offhand, but there is a scripture that says, I desire that you prosper even as your soul prospers. That is one. And of course, there are other scriptures as well that talk about a good man leaves behind an inheritance for his family. There are scriptures that speak on our bodies being temples, being the temple of God. So when you're taking care of your spirit, and you're taking care of your body, and you're taking care of your finances, that's prosperity. And it does begin with a mindset. See, and it's a mindset that we oftentimes have to create. And we create it by habit. It's not something that we just come out of the womb with. However, we come out of the womb with the possibilities because God created us with the possibilities and gave us words to assist us with it. Now, given some time, I'll be more than glad to have those scriptures ready, have several scriptures ready next week.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that, Diva Nikki.
Thank you for asking. That's and that's an awesome question.
I like that.
I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah. Now, Rachel, I'm going to actually say no. You can't get what we are teaching out of the Bible, and the thing is now, but what we are sharing is a conversation that aligns with many aspects that you would find in the Bible, you'd find in Christianity, Islam,
yep,
Judaism,
Buddhism,
many faiths, and that's not out of the fear of or unwillingness to say, well, I'm a Christian. Jesus Christ is my Savior. I can say that till I'm blue. Right. I really can. I can mouth anything. I will not mouth anything that's not authentic, except for when I don't. Except for when I don't. That's that human part. I didn't do that. Well, hey, but I'll own it when I don't. So if you look at what we're sharing in the conversations, if anything, it can allow you to look at your faith from an angle that may empower it in ways that you didn't consider. May give you some freedom in some areas to go, well, hey, I am standing in my faith. Give myself a break. How much of the Bible is forgive thyself? Whole bunch. Must have been a reason that so much emphasis is on forgiveness, to give yourself a break. So, hey, you may not realize how much you're not giving yourself a break, not honoring that scripture. So, just like as algebra can make a difference, and it can be certainly used in a way that could build a very nice church. They are distinct. Okay, we have a question from Steve out of Newark, New Jersey. I've never been to Newark, New Jersey. And is this simply positive thinking, a la Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill? Okay. Diva Nikki, Think and Grow Rich, positive thinking?
No, it's not simply that, but does it apply? Absolutely. One thing about the principles and the laws of the universe is that they're just that. They're universal and they're consistent. And they're as consistent as the laws of gravity. And it doesn't matter really and truly who wrote it, who put it in a book. What matters is who applies them and get the results. And who doesn't apply them and get the results of the lack of application. I hope that answers the question.
Well, that is your answer.
That's my answer. I stand by my answer.
And you stand there. I'm standing by your answer too. I'm just to be honest, I am really not into positive thinking. I'm really not, because that kind of empowers that negative thinking has to, go with it.
Right.
So I'm just really not into that. And you cannot fool your mind.
You cannot fool your mind. Right.
You cannot fool your mind. You can't do that. You just cannot do that. You can train your mind, which is actually powerful.
Right.
But you can't fool your mind.
May I piggyback on that, please? May I interject?
You're the diva.
So with that being said, positive thinking with no action is like that hope with no action. Like I can sit on the sofa all day long and say, I'm going to be, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a size 2 this time next year by my birthday, by May 23rd, 2018. I'm going to be a size 2. Now, currently I'm a size 4 or 5. It's size 4, 6, petite, and size 5, 7, juniors currently. Right? But let's say I want to be down like size 2, size 3. Then if I was to stop going to the gym and I ate like just gorge, like whatever I wanted to eat, and it's not healthy, then I could be positive, all day long about being that size 2. But I'll be a size 2 plus maybe another 2, or maybe a size 2 with a 1 in front of it. But it will not be a plain size 0 2. That won't happen. But with maintaining activity and creating habits, for a lifestyle, that would be possible. That would be more than possible. Right. Close to the truth.
We call that dreaming.
I haven't.
I'm going to dream about it. I'm going to dream about this, this, what I want. I'm not going to take any actions, but I'm going to dream about it. All right.
All right.
Back to you.
Do we have Diva Nakia with us yet? Diva Nakia. Okay, no. Okay. So we can tell many of you are excited, right, about what you are discovering, and others are in a different space. But regardless of where you are in the conversation, there is nothing wrong. You are not wrong. So allow yourself to be exactly where you are, because it is perfect. Our next inquiry is about the current world of doing and being. So, the current world of doing. What do you hear? What are you present to when we say the current world of doing. Did I just talk about taking action? are, are you present to work or obligation? Are you present to fun or in creation or recreation? Are you present to should or shouldn't, guilt, shame, or blame? Are you present to want or desire, lack? And how about FUD? Who's present to FUD? Aha, what's FUD? I'm glad you asked. That's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Whatever you are present to or hear in your listening is perfect. So let's check the definition. The activities in which a particular person engages. Effort, activity. For example, it would take some doing to calm him down. A beating or scolding. Someone had given her a doing. Now, the D was context for doing. The actions and efforts consistent with producing and manifesting results from the conversations we have for our occurring world. The work that happens or does not happen because of our words and the conversations we create. Consider this. Consider this. Whatever we have. Andy. Consider this. Whatever you're doing is a function of your word. If you are working on things you do not desire, what are the conversations that have you stuck? More importantly, what are the conversations that keep you from taking the action, doing the work? Look at your list of desires and ask these questions. Is this something I truly desire? I think, is it something I truly desire, or is it something I think I should have, or I am some way obligated to be? Is this a desire I am truly willing to do the work? Do my conversations and results say something else? Is there a bigger desire you can create which fulfilled will resolve or empower unfulfilled desires? We're going to move on, and you should continue the inquiry after the session, the occurring world of being. So, what do you hear? What are you present to when we say the occurring world of being? Simply get present to being. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. One more time. Take a deep breath. Now slowly exhale. Keep your eyes closed and get present to being. Simply being. Notice what you notice. Allow yourself to be present to yourself. Please open your eyes, stretch, take in a good solid breath. A definition of being. Present, particle of being. Existence, For example, the railroad brought our town into existence. The nature or essence of a person. Sometimes one aspect of our being has been developed at the expense of the other. A real or imaginary living creature, especially an intelligent one, alien beings. The deepest context for being. Our behavior as manifested in the physical or spiritual world from assessing the power found in our word. Any insights on that, Ronnie B?
Our behavior as manifested in the physical or spiritual worlds from accessing the power found in our word. Wow. I'm just allowing myself to just be present to that context. And wow, I'm just gonna leave that is just powerful there. That is just I'm just gonna leave it like that. That's powerful.
Okay. You know, for myself, I'm going to say that just in being as I was doing that just in giving those instructions and doing them myself, I felt present to total peace no matter what was going on. I was present to peace. And I was being peace. So, okay. So our power to have is based in what actions we take and our behavior, which sounds simple. So, if I do the right thing, I will have what I desire, and then I will be fulfilled. Do, have, be. Do, have, be. What if we got it wrong? And while our approach has generated success in some areas, maybe even great results, it is still lacking in areas important to you. Here is the good news. Let's try this on. If I am being fulfilled, I will take the actions consistent with someone who is fulfilled and have my desires manifested in the spiritual and physical world. Be, do, have. When you are being successful, you naturally do the things successful people do. And you have the results successfully people have. When you are being healthy, you naturally do the things healthy people do. And you have a healthy lifestyle. Being always starts with your word and your choice to have conversations that empower who you are being, which creates an occurring world that fulfills your desires. So, team, any quick insights you care to share before we go to break?
Be, do, have. And I definitely see the collapse, the collapse in the logic, but your word, as it says, everything starts with your word. And for your word to have power, it's all about who you're being. And that is just, wow. Wow. And, a great question is that what is the occurring world if you don't have if the results you want are not being fulfilled. Now, that which is different from there's no progress. Like you may be having progress, but not the progress you desire. But if it's not being fulfilled, so you're not even getting progress, okay? It just ain't happening, you know. Then what's the current world that you're creating?
Right.
What is it that you say that this is a? So that we got to go back. Is that what you want, or is that an old obligation? You know, it's really great. We did the exercise last week. I know it's supposed to be a quick insight, but we did the exercise last week where we created our romantic fantasy person. And now here's a little insight about that exercise. That's the person. That's not the fantasy. That's not the fantasy. That's the person. See, we will say, well, we'll say all these things that what we want that are not the fantasy so that we'll have the right kind of person. Well, my fantasy person is all like this, but what I really want, no, what you really wanted was that fantasy person. And they exist. Yeah, they exist. You know. All right. So that was my longer than quick insight.
Well, you know, I am just going to co-sign on what you said because it was perfect. So we will continue the conversation on the other side of the break with partnership, keys to success. The time is now 5:56. Please return in 6 minutes at 6:00. Well, it just turned 5:57. Please return in 6 minutes at 6:03.
The day you have. This is the day you have. This is the circumstance you're in. So be good with it. Be good to it and create new goodness from it all. Don't overthink it or worry it into oblivion. Live it gratefully, graciously, with a commitment to give it your best. Recall a particularly joyful time you've known. Feel that joy as it glows in your memory and let it radiate freely into the here and now. Inspire and encourage yourself to act with positive purpose and the highest standards, but don't beat yourself up if you fall a little short. This is the day you have, and you can fill it with the unique substance that is your life. Feel good about your prospects, then justify that positive feeling with the things you actually do. Make life good all over again by the way you choose to see it and to live it. This is the day you have, and your chance to amaze yourself with all the great things you can do.
I'm not afraid for all the world to see that you mean everything to me. I can hold these feelings up inside. There's no need to run and hide when you're making love easy. Making love easy. Doesn't always have to be so hard. It doesn't always have to fall apart. When we met right then and there, I knew I would always be with you, 'cause you're making with certainty that it's just me and you and you and me. 'Cause you're making love easy. Crystal clear. When I'm with you, I feel so high. And you know the reason why. 'Cause you're making love easy. Making love easy. Yeah, you're making love easy. Making love easy. Yeah, you're making love easy. Making love easy. You're making love easy. You're making love easy.
All right, Making Love Easy. I think that is a group called Otis out of Brooklyn, New York. This is Ronnie B. and Wealthy Living. That is what we are doing. And we are welcome you back from the break. Partnership, the keys to success. Yes, partnership. We're going to review the conversation matrix. Now, if you were here with us last week for the first session, we went over the conversation matrix. We're going to have a brief review to get everybody caught up, okay? Now, there are 3 fundamental strategies we as individuals create to deal with challenges, changes, or overcoming a failure. These strategies are powerful and provide us a way to win or compensate for failure to be. Sounds like a good thing, right? We use those strategies because at some point in the past, they worked, and we did not have to deal or be with the experience or feeling that made us uncomfortable, the failure to be. What if those strategies have become bankrupt and you don't recognize it, and now they are wreaking havoc with creating partnerships teams, relationships, impacting your spirituality, your health, your prosperity. What if no matter what new strategies, you come up with, you think you're creating, they fundamentally devolve into those three now bankrupt strategies? Now, we call these three strategies the conversation matrix. The manifestation of these bankrupt strategies live in the conversations and actions we have with others when we feel threatened, have concerns. There is FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. Now, each strategy is created during certain ages. Now, this is not absolute, because one strategy may be to look for areas that are not absolute. That's a strategy. A lot of people, that way they have a built-in excuse. Well, if it's not 100%, then there's always an out. That's a strategy. So the first strategy occurs, somewhere around 4 to 8 years old. It can be 5 to 9, but generally 4 to 8 years old. And something happened. And immediately what went up is, hey, something's wrong here. And for you as a child, for us as children at 4 to 8, we are not enough. We're, like, here's this world, and for the world, we've always been enough for whatever cap. But in this instant, something happened, and who we are was not enough. So we created, and we didn't like it. Did not like it. We did not like not being enough. And we may not have been big enough, strong enough, smart enough. Whatever it was, we weren't enough. And we didn't like it. So we said, well, I'm going to do this, so I'll never, ever, 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 ever not be enough. Now, the only problem is that what we created, the strategy, never resolves what we weren't enough. If we weren't strong enough, we don't come up with a strategy where we'll ever be strong enough. We come up with a strategy that compensates for when we're not strong enough. So we may body build, work out, go do, I'm going to be big and strong. But there are going to be things where we're not strong enough. That could be the death of a loved one. And it's like, wow, with all my muscles and strength, my loved one passed away and I couldn't do anything. You got a strategy to deal with that. Now, your second strategy, our second, not just yours, this is all of us, occurs around 9 to 14. Something happened. Something's wrong here. I don't fit in. So I'll be, I will be, I won't, I will do something that'll compensate for I don't fit in. Now, if you look in, and you might look at this period and go, wow. Maybe you went to high school and you didn't fit in. And what you did to compensate was you became funny. You'd be funny to fit in. Or maybe you said, I'll play sports to fit in. You became athletic to fit in. Or you joined particular clubs to what? To fit in. Now, it wasn't anything wrong with it. They probably were great and gave you value. But as much as you tried to fit in, you had to keep working at it. That strategy had to keep going. Then around 15 to 21, as you're a young adult, something happened. There's something wrong here. And what you got was you're on your own. You're on your own. Mama, daddy, world, you're on your own. You got to fix this. You're on your own. And you didn't like that. Now, you might have been what they call, it might have been a rebel as a kid, independent. But see, you might have been a rebel independent, but maybe you hadn't hit that you truly were on your own. Like you might have had that safety net. Yeah, I'm a rebel, but mom and daddy don't clean it all up. Yeah, I'm a rebel, but I'm still going to class on time, and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But something happened and you're on your own. Now, these strategies form your conversation matrix. All conversations for partnership, results, teams go through the matrix and determines the conversations that will have you win. Now, here, I'm going to tell you something. We say it, all conversations for partnership, results, team go through the matrix. Bad news for you. All your conversations go through the matrix, all of them, to see which strategy should be employed. So think about it. You meet you really want to be in a romantic relationship that can evolve into a long-term relationship. I like just date and long-term relationship. And when you meet the person, what's in between you and actually connecting with the person is the conversation matrix. Because whatever they say is going to go through that matrix. Because that matrix is going to tell you what's the right thing to say. And it's automatic. Happens automatically. So you meet this great person, they say what they say, and you say stuff coming out the matrix. And the evening goes the way it goes. You're left with, I don't know if they're really you might have found them attractive. Oh, they're attractive, but I don't know if I like this and that. And you realize that you never had an authentic conversation with them. You were never you, because you were the matrix. The conversation matrix. Let me hold my cards. Well, how authentic is that? Well, when they showed me their hand, see, that's how I do. Well, see, I let them talk. All strategy. Now, these strategies form your conversation matrix. All conversations for partnership, results, team go through the matrix and determine the conversations that will have you win. The problem, the conversations generated by the conversation matrix are based on the past. Now, I'm going to share my first strategy and the impact it has had on my ability to produce the results I desire while I'm sharing. Look for yourself and see if you can determine yours. Now, around the age of 5, I went to a new school. And what I remember is that there was an assignment for us to basically to write our names. And I could not write my name. And I was hurt and I was sad. And and there was something wrong. I felt different. Like, I'm not like everybody else, because they could write their names and I can't. So that hurt. I couldn't write my name. And I was like, but what I could do was read. I could read, but I couldn't write my name. I hadn't, I guess whatever, I didn't work on my writing, but they worked on my reading, so I could read. So what I did was I read. And I read the entire encyclopedia from A to Z with all of that years. They used to send out the year-end book, all of that. In like 2 weeks, I read. And to make up for I couldn't write. Now today I can write. I can write. My writing is poor. It is poor. It is legible, but it's poor. I print and I type. Okay, I can print and I can type things very well. Like I can write sentences, but my actual cursive writing, not good. Now, I probably could have practiced that in life, but my strategy was, well, hey, if I can't write, I can read. And I will read something, and I will get details, and I'll get information. And that's my strategy Now, you may say, okay, well, hey, every situation isn't about me being able to write legibly. And you're correct. But the strategy doesn't recognize that. So, I will be reading instead of doing the work that I need to do. Because my strategy, that strategy will kick in when I doubt or have questions about what I can get done or can't get done. The strategy is go read. So I'm reading, looking some more, getting some more information. As an adult, we call it like analysis paralysis. Which is, as the adult manifestation of that is I'll have an analysis paralysis. Well, that doesn't work too well when in a relationship where the love of your life is trying to share what she's going through, and your response is to try to get information and read.
I think we may have lost Ronnie B. He may be having technology issues once again. And so your assignment last session was to inquire into your first strategy. Where is this strategy automatic in my life and conversation? Oh, Ronnie B., do we have you back?
All right, yeah, it came back. The technology there, okay. But as I was sharing the impact of the strategy. Now, your assignment last session was to inquire into your first strategy. Where is the strategy automatic in my life and conversations? When I want to express power and confidence, is this strategy a barrier? Does the strategy get in the way of me asking for what I want or expressing myself clearly? I have people that I've coached, and one of their strategies is to survey the situation and never, ever, ever fully commit. Like, you cannot, and what they don't realize is that people see that they're not willing to commit. And how much are you going to invest in a project, a business, someone's efforts if you don't see that they're willing to commit 100% to it? But for them, it's a strategy so that if something goes wrong, they can sort of like say, well, I was not really, they won't get tainted. Or if it goes great, that they could say, hey, well, I was playing with it. It's bankrupt. Now, Diva Nikki, did we get Diva Nikki's technology working? I don't know. She will say something. But Diva Nikki, any insights from doing the exercise or from the conversation for today? Did you happen to get present to the strategies others use and how automatic they are?
I did. And what I became present to is even my own strategy, and hearing other people say, very similar examples to what you have shared already, like, say, in relationships. I'll open up more if he opens up more. Or, well, and I start saying, I love you, when he say he loved me first. Or I said I love you, and he say he loved me back, so I'm not going to say it again until he said it to me.
Oh, God. Yeah. That is so great because oftentimes people look for these dramatic things,
Mhm.
but it's not the dramatic thing. It's the subtle everyday.
Mm. Mhm.
You know, yeah, because if things don't start out dramatic, you wouldn't be
Mhm.
involved. They get that way.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good one. Now, if you've been able to determine all three strategies that make up your conversation matrix, great. Now, if you're struggling, we want you to just consider a few extra questions, okay, that may help you. That will support you. Not that you don't need help. That will support you in unconcealing some of this. When the going gets tough, what is my conversation? What actions do I take or not take? So when the going gets tough, what is my conversation? What actions do I take or not take? So you want to look in the areas of health, prosperity, spirituality, romance, relationships. When the going gets tough, I have a buddy when the going gets tough in a relationship, that's when he takes a trip. He'll go out of town and come back. That's his strategy. And I've known him for years, and that's what he does. Whenever things get tough in this relationship, he goes out of town. And he'll deal with it when he comes back. Now, needless to say, he's been divorced 3 times. How's that working for him? Now, what do people close to me say I do or ways I behave when dealing with difficult circumstances? Ever had someone say, stop acting like a child, and you're 70? It happens.
Right?
But yeah, what do people close to me say I do or ways I behave when dealing with difficult circumstances? My sister used to say that whatever, like if it's a threatening circumstance, challenge, we kind of grew up in the hood, had things happen. She would say that I would always go cold. And she could just never, like God, you just go cold. Now, that was her experience of how I was behaving. Now, for me, I was like being intentional, I won't say that. That's a little too transformed, okay? I'll just say that like serious or no nonsense. Hey, it's threat time. Well, look, I'm not trying to, like right now, I got to do what danger, Will Robinson. I got to protect the whatever, Let's just say you just go cold. I'm not thinking about my feelings, Now, so what do people close to me say I do or ways I behave when dealing with difficult circumstances? Now, can you imagine someone you really care about and y'all are going through whatever you're going through, and their experience of you is that you went cold? How's that going to work for you? Now, what is something I say or do automatically if I perceive I will not like something? So again, this doesn't have to be all dramatic. Your strategy will always come into play to help you deal with stuff that you don't like, that don't make you feel good. Now, to continue to work on the conversation matrix during the week, asking yourself, where has the automatic nature of this strategy cost me the fulfillment of my desires? Now, in our final segment, we are joined by Nakia Franklin for the Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster. We have had some technical difficulties this session, but Diva Nikki has just been awesome, holding down the fort. She's been keeping the integrity of the entire webinar, together, all the pieces. Thank you. And if we're not able to bring Diva Nikia on, Diva Nikki will do Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster, because Diva Nakia always makes sure that we have it. So the time is now 6:25. We're running a little bit over. Please be ready to begin at 6:30. The break begins now. Willingness. A willingness to try new things brings freshness to my life. There is great wisdom in the conventional saying, you won't know unless you try. Countless opportunities appear in a lifetime, but without willingness to try new things, those experiences will be left undiscovered. When I stretch myself to try something new, I discover adventures, communities, foods, or interests I wouldn't have ever known. Deep joy may result from my willing action to do something unfamiliar, even if I decide that what I've tried is not for me. I gain experience and knowledge in the process of expanding beyond my usual activities. Today, I purposely choose to do something new. With a willing heart and an open mind, I experience the freshness of life. So if anyone is in Christ, there is a new creation. Everything old has passed away, see. Everything has become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17.
There's something going on. You can't tell if it's wrong or if it's right. You need more light to see what's ahead. You've seen it all before, and so you can't ignore the writing on the wall. And all at once you started up again. So it's no wonder you can't explain yourself. A new addiction has taken hold of you. There's nothing you can do now. You're helpless. Yeah. A new addiction has taken on control. Deep down in your soul, your memories are fading away. Now let's be sensible. You can push and you can pull, but eventually you have to come to terms with what you've done. It's not intentional. You're unconventional, and every time you run, you find yourself back at the starting line. So it's no wonder you can't explain yourself. A new addiction has taken hold of you. There's nothing you can do now. You're helpless. Yeah. A new addiction has taken on control. Deep down in your soul, your memories are fading away. Memories are fading away. a new addiction that's taking hold of you. There's nothing you can do now. You're helpless, yeah. A new addiction that's taking all control. Deep down in your soul, your memories are fading away. Fading away.
Welcome back from the break. We're getting ready to go into our finale, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get Diva Nikia's technology working. And let's make sure we have Diva Nikki. Is your technology working still good?
My technology is working fine. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, hey, sometimes you have to deal with natural effects. Would you mind filling in for Diva Nikia with our Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster?
Sure, I don't mind at all. So, Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster. Welcome, Tess. And I am Diva Nikki, of course, taking over right now, or shall I say, what shall we say? Filling in for Diva Nikki. Excuse me. I have a great Divine Mind Prosperity Blaster for you this week. And it is willingness. A willingness to try new things brings freshness to my life. There is great wisdom in the conventional saying, you won't know unless you try.
Mm-hmm.
Countless opportunities appear in a lifetime, but without willingness to try new things, those experiences will be left undiscovered. When I stretch myself to try something new, I discover adventure, communities, foods, or interests I wouldn't have ever known. Deep joy may result from my willing action to do something unfamiliar. Even if I decide that what I've tried is not for me, I gain experience and knowledge in the process of expanding beyond my usual activities. Today, I purposely choose to do something new. With a willing heart and an open mind, I experience the freshness of life. So, here's a little share for myself. For a long time, I would not try sushi. The idea of eating something raw that came from the sea was just not appealing to me at all. The idea of something squishy, I just couldn't do it. I just can't. But I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that when I said yes to someone to actually try sushi, that I was able to find something that I liked. And it wasn't even nothing like what I imagined. Like it was, there was so much more to sushi than what I had put in my own head, right? The conversations that I had with myself that created my current world that prevented me from trying something new and finding something that I actually love. And then even if the variations of it to say, you know what, I like this I don't like, but I'm glad I tried it. Not for me. But this I can get with, you know, and even to the point where I have those moments where I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood for sushi. And even to the point of to a degree where I use eating sushi as a celebration for myself. When I achieve a certain goal, I'm like, shoot, today today's celebration is going to be sushi. So yeah, that's one of my experiences.
Something I'd like to share is that something I get present to about willingness, and part of that is you can't generate willingness for someone else. You can't do that. And I've seen how many times that I'll say that coming from a place of I'll say collapsing, wanting to make a difference with the person's right to be who they are. And my wanting to make a difference was keeping me from seeing that they're being the way they want to be. And I can't give them willingness. Now, I can provide support, but I can't give someone the willingness to do something. That is something they have to generate. So I have, when I'm not working with the Prosperous Divas, I'm working with Old Grumpy Radio. And the Old Grumpy Radio Network, we got several dozen programs, and some of those I have to manage the personnel. And it'll be like, well, Ron, when are you going to give me an opportunity to have my own show? I could do my own show. Okay, all right, go for it. And then they don't go for it. And part of it is that they want to have their own show if I'll write and produce it. Now, if I'll write and produce it, they'll have their own show. And I'm going, well, whoa, if you're not willing to write and produce it, why do I, then you don't want to have your own show. Because that is part of the job. That's part of the deal. I actually, I do enjoy, like speaking in front of the crowds and of course, working with the divas to present different workshops. Now, what I really like, that is different. Yeah, that's what I like. What I really like is being Steven Spielberg. And what I mean by that is that he gets to work with all these great stars, not just one talent. And, and produce different kind of movies and work with it. And it's like, wow, I want to be like Steven Spielberg, where I get to work with great people like the Prosperous Divas and many of the people on the programs from Old Grumpy Radio. That, wow, I get to work with them. And I don't do too bad of a job, I think, Diva Nikki, you think I could hold my own, a little bit?
You are doing just fine. Yes, you are. You are definitely holding your own.
Yeah, I think I can hold my own on a show or two, but it's like I say, Steve, you get to work with all these great people and see their qualities and learn and get to pick from them. So, but I can't give that to someone. I'm willing to put myself through whatever there is to have my desires fulfilled. Diva Nikki is willing. No one has to convince her to go through the work. That is not where, it's like, no. See, we are people who are willing to do the work to manifest our dreams. Now, if you want us to do something, make your case. Make your case. Make your case. And if it's in some way consistent or can add to what I'm doing, maybe we can work something out. But we are already willing to go through what we're going through so that what we're working on manifests. We can't say yes to everything. We just can't. And this is one of the rare times you actually hear me say the word can't. We can't say yes to everything at the same time. At the same time. And as we build integrity with what we're working on, we can take on new things because we got that. So for many of us, what you need to create is something bigger than what you're doing. That would take that would demand more of your time. But more about it. But I already got, you need to demand more of your time. So, Diva Nikki, let's get on to this finale. I have shared my insight.
And we have enjoyed. So, everyone, create the following categories: relationships, health, spiritual, wealth. Under each category, write 3 situations where willingness would make a difference. Under each situation being present to your first strategy, write what there is that keeps you from willingness. What conversation, distinct from your first strategy, can you create that would bring willingness to the situation? Hint, forgiveness or possibility. Keep a daily log or post daily on Facebook any results or an insight, and please share with the Prosperous Divas. Now, our structures for existence. One way we know to keep relationships alive is to stay in the conversation. We have a couple of ways for you to do that. Begin at our next session, which is Living Wealthy, Love, Romance, Partnership, a New Day. And that will be Sunday, September the 10th from 5 p.m., 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Visiting ProsperousDivas.com and receiving our free 4-part series, Recognizing Winning Conversations That No Longer Work. Visit ProsperousDivas.com and receiving Diva Inspiration, a weekly newsletter with insights into the world of prosperous thinking from Diva Nakia and Diva Nikki. Visiting us on Facebook and posting Facebook.com/ProsperousDivas. Please share how people can contact you, Ronnie B., and any events you want people to join you at. For myself, everyone, you can follow me or contact with me at Facebook.com, Nikki Taplin, and BizSolutions.com, my website. Back to you, Ronnie B.
OldGrumpyRadio.com.
You can also visit Diva Nakia at appointedtimeforyou.com and check out what else she has going on with her workshops and seminars. For us, also, ProsperousDivas.com for more of our workshops and seminars. So tonight's Prosperous Divas were myself, Nikki Taplin, BizSolutions.com. In her absence, but still, I know she's here with us in spirit, even though we couldn't get technology to work, is Nikia Franklin, appointedtimeforyou.com, and of course, Ronnie B. with Old Grumpy Radio and ProsperousDivas.com. So please enjoy another selection from Shani, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. Prosperous Divas. Prosperity is a mindset that can be created by anyone. Good night.
Change is going to come, and I'm first in line. No longer worried because they always going to try and block my shine, but it's time. The tears I cried, they weren't in vain. The battles I fought, they weren't in vain. Stress and stress, memory lapse, time guess. I know if it wasn't for the best, keep secrets dim in my life, but no, I still got fighting me. Dusting myself off so you can see the change in me. No longer have to wear the shade to hide the tears. No longer worried if you'll think that I win or lose. Just the fact that I made it through. See, I had to crawl before I can fly. This flow is mine. See, this one they're going to have to put in the archives next to redemption. I'm back for my pension. Listen, yeah, seems different. When you felt it, did you taste it? The BS erased. Tired of the hate, tired of being misplaced. Now move closer. Feel the stimulation. Weaklings, I feel your hesitation, and weaklings get devoured. It's so hot you gon' need that cold shower, and I can do it. Don't get it twisted. Making it good like T. Rich and them who motivates my gift just by listening. Are you listening? Sipping. You thirsting for my knowledge. I made it out the projects. What problem? I solved it. Evolved to become that much better. Weather the storms of life. And I'm still hot, still spitting hot fire. And yeah, this sister knows how to change her own tire. So why you trying to leave me behind? I'm ahead of time. 10 steps silver shining, always